What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Fourth Podcast. I'm Los Isaiah. We're live again. Going on, everyone. Hope everyone has had a great day, and hopefully that your night will continue to be great. Yeah, as y'all know, today we had NFL Combine media availability, and obviously, as y'all know, my favorite team, the Tennessee Titans, were well represented as we had head coach Brian Callahan, GM, Ran Carthon there. You know, what's going on? We had them there. They were there in attendance. And, man, they had some really intriguing and interesting things to say about kind of the outlook of this team. And, y'all, I'm so excited because it's a new era in Tennessee. I mean, I don't really know any other way to word it other than that. It is a new era in Tennessee, and it is just an amazing time to be a Titans fan. And it's going to be a lot of fun, y'all. Excuse me, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, yeah, so we're going to react to that. I also want to watch it, and that's about 28 minutes long, so if y'all okay with that, then, yeah, we can watch it. I don't know if we'll watch it in its entirety, but we will definitely watch and listen to. And then also, there's been some recent NFL news and rumors that have kind of come out, so I want to discuss that, and we'll get into some of that. And then I will also kind of give y'all my takeaways that I had in listening to Brian Callahan and Ran Carthon do their media availability. And then after that, I will be out y'all's way. So first, y'all, let's get into some recent rumors and news that we have received in the last few days. As y'all know, obviously, the new league year is upon us. It's going to start March 13th, I believe. So in terms of free agency, it's really heating up. So the first rumor, y'all, that we have received is that the Broncos and Falcons are interested in Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. There's a 75 to 80% chance the Chiefs tag him. Now, it actually came out maybe about an hour or two ago that the Chiefs are planning to tag L'Jarius Sneed, and if they're not able to come to a contract agreement, they will trade him. Now, this is very interesting, right? This is very interesting because, as y'all know, L'Jarius Sneed, especially this year, but the last 2 years, he has turned himself into being a guy that was just okay / good to being really elite to being one of the top cornerbacks in the league. And so the fact that the Chiefs are open to trading him, what does that tell y'all? That shows you the trust that they have in their young, budding superstar slot cornerback, Trent McDuffie. We know Trent McDuffie had an amazing year, man. He was got named to the All-Pro team this year. Probably should have been a Pro Bowler too, but hey, we'll talk about that at a later date and time. But we know the Chiefs have some tough decisions to make, man. They need to re-sign Chris Jones, and they need to re-sign L'Jarius Sneed. It's going to be very hard to do that. And they also they need help at wide receiver. So they have to bring back two of their best players on the team, and they need to address a very important position, but they don't have the cap space to make all that stuff happen. So very tricky situation that they're in. Personally, I think, and I love L'Jarius Sneed, but personally, I think I would trade him and keep Chris Jones. If I had to pick one, y'all, I would keep Chris Jones because I think it's harder, in my opinion, y'all, it's harder to find a great defensive lineman than it is to find a corner. That's just how I feel. Like, even you look at this year's draft class, there's a lot of dudes in this year's draft class that are probably going to go on to be Pro Bowl caliber corners, at least starting caliber corners in the NFL. And I'm not talking about 5 years from now. I'm talking about this year, y'all. Like, literally this year, their rookie year, they will come in and be starter level Pro Bowl cornerbacks in their rookie seasons. Whereas with defensive linemen, you normally don't see that. You don't see defensive linemen just come in immediately and be Pro Bowl level players. It could take them a few years, or some never pan out. Right? Even you look at Big Jeff, who my Titans took in 2019, right? It took Big Jeff a couple years. Obviously, he was coming off an ACL injury, but it took Big Jeff a couple years, right? 2019, He didn't play too much, but you could see that the impact was there. You could see that he had all the makings of a great player. 2020, he started improving. In 2021, that was a year he took off, right? So it took him, 3 years before he really, really established himself as one of the best D linemen in the league. And I just think it's harder to find those guys, y'all. So if I have to choose one, I would trade L'Jarius Sneed and keep Chris Jones. But this is gonna be an incredibly tough decision that Brett Veach, their GM, has to make, because you're talking about two dudes that are two of the best players there. I mean, Chris Jones is one of the best defensive tackles, really just defensive linemen, because he can play in, he can play 5-tech, 3-tech, all of that. And L'Jarius Sneed is one of the best corners in the entire league. So very tough decision that he has on his hands. But like I said, y'all, if I have to choose one, I would keep, that's just my opinion, but I would keep Chris Jones and trade L'Jarius Sneed. And in terms of the Broncos and Falcons being interested in them, really understanding from the Falcons standpoint. I think from the Broncos standpoint, I don't get it per se. I know they need a corner, but to me, the Broncos right now, y'all, they're just in a weird position because they're obviously they're not contending for the Super Bowl, but they're not a bad team. So they're kind of stuck just in the middle. Like, they're okay. They're not bad. They're not great. They're not good. So they're just kind of okay. They're average. They're okay. I don't know if it makes a ton of sense for them to go after a guy like L'Jarius Sneed. And I don't even know why he would want to go to Denver in the first place. Like, why the heck would you leave the Chiefs to go play for the Broncos, right? Doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't know why he would do that. The Falcons, this makes a ton of sense. As y'all know, the Falcons, man, for years have been looking for cornerback help. Now, we know they have a really good corner in A.J. Terrell, but outside of that, they don't have much. I do like their 4th-round pick from last year, Clark Phillips, but he's a slot guy, right? The Falcons desperately need more help on the perimeter. They need another boundary corner to go with A.J. Terrell. So I love this for the Falcons, right? Because if you have L'Jarius Sneed and A.J. Terrell, y'all, there's a very good CB duo right there. And it would give teams a lot of headaches. So I would love that from the Falcons standpoint. From the Broncos standpoint, like I said, doesn't make a ton of sense. But since it seems like all signs are pointing to the Chiefs franchise tagging him, the Falcons and Broncos will have to give up something. Are they willing to do that? We'll see. Because if the Chiefs were going to just let him hit the open market, that's different, because you don't have to give up any kind of draft capital. But I'm telling y'all, the Chiefs are going to probably want a 1st-round pick for L'Jarius Sneed, because he is one of the best corners in the league. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there, Broncos and Falcons fans. Next up, y'all, and I thought this was so funny today when I heard Tom Telesco say this. But today at the Combine, Raiders GM Tom Telesco says wide receiver Davante Adams is and will remain a Raider. Sorry, Jets fans, LOL. And like I said, y'all, this was just so funny to me because we've heard all season that the Jets are going to trade for the Davante Adams, I just want this old teammate back. And then for Tom Telesco to come out and say, no, Davante Adams is and will remain a Raider is just so hilarious to me, because now these Jets fans, I'm sorry, Jets fans, I know y'all been miserable for years. Hey, just how it's been for y'all. But for the Raiders, to me, this is an indication, y'all, that they want to compete next year, and they're not looking to take. I know some people say, well, the Raiders are going to kind of hit the reset button. They're not doing it, because if the Raiders were going to hit the reset button, they would just tear it all the way down. Why would you keep Davante Adams, a guy that's 31, going to turn 32 later this year? Right? But they're keeping him. Why? Because they want to compete. They want to compete. Obviously, we know they got first-year head coach Antonio Pierce. Shout out Antonio Pierce. First-year GM for them. Obviously, we know Tom Telesco. He's a former GM for the Los Angeles Chargers. He had been in that role since 2013. But this is not a team looking to restart. They're not looking to do that, y'all. They're looking to compete. And I love that. When you look at the way the Raiders are built right now, they're not too bad on the offensive side of the ball. They need a quarterback, obviously. Not too bad. Say you need a quarterback and can use another lineman. And then a running back. Because I don't think they're going to re-sign Josh Jacobs. I mean, I know they said that they're interested. Tom Telesco said they are interested in bringing him back. I don't see that, but maybe they will bring him back. I just personally, I don't see that. So I think running on offense, they need a running back, obviously a quarterback, and another lineman, and then defensively, corner, edge rusher, are big needs for them. I'll also say probably the interior, like defensive tackle. So they really have a lot of needs on that defense. That's what they got to address. We know the Raiders, y'all. I mean, the Raiders, this feels like this has been a problem for the last 20 years, right? Seriously. They have not had a great defense in a long time. So Tom Telesco, he really needs to address that side of the ball. They need serious help, man. Serious help. I know when you look at their numbers from this past year, their numbers don't look bad defensively, but y'all trust me, this is a team that they just need more talent. Straight up, they just need more talent on this side of the ball. And like I said, I get Tom Telesco and I want to trade Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is still one of the best receivers in the league. I know his numbers were down this year. That's not because of him. Right, that's because unfortunately you have to play with a dude named Jimmy Garoppolo, who's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So that's not on Devontae Adams. I know people want to say he's washed, dude. Devontae Adams is still one of the best route runners in the freaking league. One of the best route runners in the league. Okay, he is not washed up. He's not washed. So come on now. Tay is not washed, as they call him. That's the nickname that us fans call him. Tay Adams is not washed up. You get him a real quarterback, man, he'll go back to being a 1,500 yard wide receiver. So love this move from Tom Telesco, not trading Devontae Adams. And again, I know he's 31, but still, your goal as a general manager, as a head coach, is to win games. Period. And having Devontae Adams on your football team is definitely going to help you win games. Next. Did y'all really think Kwesi Adolphus-Mensah was even thinking about trading Justin Jefferson? I know we've seen all these stupid rumors. That's what it really is, y'all. Let's call a spade a spade. We've seen all these stupid rumors. Vikings going to trade wide receiver Justin Jefferson. We see people say all the Jets might trade for him. The Patriots might trade for him. Yada, yada, yada. Really? Well, guess what, y'all? Vikings GM Kwesi Adolphus-Mensah, he shut that down because today he said that trading wide receiver Justin Jefferson has never crossed his mind. We think he's one of the best non-QBs in the league and think he should be compensated as such. That's a quote from Kwesi Adolphus-Mensah, like I said, Vikings general manager. Now, this is what I think, y'all, a potential contract extension for Justin Jefferson, could look like. And I really want y'all to tell me if you think this is too much or you think it's too little. Because we know just a few weeks ago, Justin Jefferson said he wants to break the bank and wants to be the highest non-paid quarterback in the league. Now, we know right now the highest paid non-quarterback in the league right now is Nick Bosa, making $34 million annually. So, y'all, this is my potential contract extension for Justin Jefferson. I have Justin Jefferson again, a 5-year, $185 million deal with 130 of it guaranteed. Let me repeat. I have Justin Jefferson again, a 5-year, $185 million deal with 130 of it guaranteed. Now, if you're looking at a 5-year, 185 deal, that's $37 million per year. Right now, the highest paid wide receiver is Tyreek Hill at $30 million a year. And Justin Jefferson said he wants to break the bank, y'all. This would definitely break the bank, right? $37 million for a wide. You're talking about almost $40 million for a wide receiver, something we've never seen in the NFL. But he is so deserving of it, y'all. So deserving of it. I still cannot believe, and it still blows my mind to this day. It really does. That the freaking Eagles took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. I still cannot believe that Justin Jefferson was the 22nd pick in the 2020 draft. Remember when he was coming out of college and people had problems because they would say, oh, he's only a slot wide receiver and he's not fast enough. Are you kidding me, man? Like, seriously, y'all. If you watched Justin Jefferson's tape in 2019 at LSU, you knew he was more than just a slot wide receiver. You knew he had more than enough speed to get by to get by corners consistently. I almost said to get by receivers, to get by corners consistently. And all the GMs that passed on him, man, boy, do y'all look silly now. Seriously. Because in that 2020 draft, y'all, there were some teams that needed wide receiver, like the Eagles did. Instead, they took Jalen Rager. Right? The Broncos, they took Jerry Jeudy. The Raiders, they took Henry Ruggs. The Jaguars, they passed up on him. They took C.J. Henderson. So, y'all see where I'm going with this? Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in football. It's tough because you got him, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase. There's a lot of great receivers in the NFL. But I think Jay Jettas, that's his nickname, Jay Jettas. He's the best out of all of them, y'all. I mean, his route running, his contested catch ability, his catching. You talking about a guy in his career, y'all, that has a 68.1 catch percentage. I mean, that is insane. Insane. Talking about a guy that's averaged 98.3 yards per game in his career, the most in NFL history. And you talking about a guy that is averaging, this year, y'all, only played 10 games, right? He missed 7 due to injury. And he still had almost 1,100 yards. Think about it. Still had almost 1,100 yards, and he only played in 10 games. Now, like I said, do y'all think this is too little or too much? Personally, I think Justin Jefferson and his team, I think they could push for more than this. I really do. They might really want to break the bank. Now, this will be breaking the bank, right? Getting $37 million a year, something we've never seen. We've never seen a wide receiver even be close to $40 million a year, and 130 of it guaranteed. That's, y'all, I'm telling you, when Justin Jefferson gets his contract done, that guaranteed money is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. I can guarantee you this. He is going to get probably, say if he signs a contract, even if, let's say, it ends up being, let's say for it's 200 over 5 years, right? 40 million a year. Of that 200 million, I could guarantee you that 160, 165 was going to be guaranteed. Can guarantee you that, because if you look at Tyreek Hill's contract, Tyreek got a 4-year, 120, 72 of that was guaranteed. Justin Jefferson, y'all, I'm telling you, he is going to get close to 40 million, and he could actually end up getting 40 million. Could be 40 million plus. I would not be surprised, but he is one of the best non-quarterbacks in the league. And Kwesi is right. He absolutely deserves to be compensated as such. Because you could argue Justin Jefferson is a top 5 player, top 3 player in the entire league, regardless of position. I mean, man, this kid, y'all, is so freaking good. I hear the OJ say, yeah, money, 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 money. And Justin Jefferson's finna get a lot of it. He is finna get a lot of it. So, how y'all feel about that? You think that's too little, too much, or just right? I mean, man, Justin Jefferson, y'all. I mean, that dude is a monster. He's a beast, man. He really is. And I even think, like I said, I think he can get more than this. He can get more than this. And so we're going to just wait and see. But I tell you this, the Vikings, great to hear them value a player that is a superstar in the league. Because sometimes when it's time to pay a player, teams will be hesitant to do so. But it's like, man, you got to take care of your superstar players, especially your homegrown talent, right? The Vikings drafted Justin Jefferson. Y'all drafted him. So you got to take care of like your homegrown talent. You got to take care of the dudes you drafted and that have came in and played very well for you. They rewarded you, right? They made you look great for picking them. You got to take care of them. Kwesi Adolphus-Mensa says they're going to take care of them. So great news for Justin Jefferson. Great news for all the Vikings fans out there. Because I know some of y'all was panicking. I read some of them comments on Twitter. Some of y'all were panicking, right? Y'all were panicking. But hey, no reason to panic because your GM, Kwesi, said he never even thought about trading Justin Jefferson, which why would he, man? Why would you trade a player of that caliber? Really? You ain't the Steelers are thinking about trading TJ Watt. You ain't the Dolphins are thinking about trading Tyreek Hill. Come on, y'all. Really? You ain't the Eagles are thinking about trading AJ Brown. You ain't the 49ers thinking about trading Debo or Christopher McCaffrey. No. You're not thinking about that. So you gotta take care of your superstar players on your roster. And I'm glad that Kwesi said that's what we're gonna do next, y'all. Y'all know Justin Fields. I've sung his praises on this channel. I truly believe this dude has all the talent in the world. I've been a big Justin Fields fan for a long time. Even before he got to there, I was a big fan of his in high school. I used to watch him play a lot. All right. Big fan of Justin Fields. Big fan. Y'all, it's over. You know, it's over. And we kind of saw this coming. We saw the writing on the wall. The Bears are in a very unique position because you're talking about last year they had the number 1 overall pick, but it's because they were a horrible team, right? Because they only won 3 games. This year, they had the number 1 pick. Why? Because of a trade they made with the Carolina Panthers last year for the Panthers to move up to pick 1. And the Panthers gave up their 2024 first-round pick. And the Panthers were god-awful this year, right? Horrible. So because of that, the Bears now have the number 1 overall pick. So this is a very unique situation because very rarely, y'all, do you see, at any time, do you see a team in consecutive years have the number 1 overall pick. And so for Ryan Poles, it's a tough decision. Because I really do believe, y'all, that the Bears organization, I think they really like Justin Fields. I think they think he's a good young man. But at the same time, for them, this is a very, very unique situation, a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Because you're the Bears. You're hoping that you will never be picking this high again. The Bears definitely won't be picking at number 1 overall next year, right? I mean, my God, if the Bears somehow had the number 1 pick again next year, and it's actually because they were a bad team, then that would be a massive failure because this roster is starting to, it's starting to round the form, y'all. It really is. The Bears are starting to look okay. They're not looking too shabby. They got to take care of their boy, right? You got to take care of your boy, Jalen Johnson. But you bring him back. You got Tyreek Stevenson, heading into his second year. Had a very good rookie year. Traded for Montez Sweat. Got Javon Dexter Sr. up the middle at defensive tackle. You got Tremaine Evans, TJ Edwards, a linebacker. His defense starting to look pretty nice. Jaquan Brisker. Then offensively, Tevin Jenkins. Not look too bad. See, DJ Moore, Roshan Johnson, Darnell Wright, not looking too shabby. So this Bears team, the roster is starting to shape in the form. But you got to figure out your QB position. So today, y'all, Bears GM says that if they decide to trade Justin Fields, they want to do right by him, excuse me. Y'all, these are teams I think would be interested in Justin Fields. I think the Falcons, obviously, we know the Falcons, they need quarterback. Even heard today, their new head coach, Raheem Morris, said that if they had received better quarterback play, he probably wouldn't be standing here right now because their former head coach, Arthur Smith, would still be the head coach, which he's 1,000% correct on that. But they did not receive good quarterback play. They did not get good quarterback play. And I've always said this, y'all, that one player really cannot dictate. I know people always say, well, great quarterbacks win games. Yes, that's true. Right? But you still need a good team behind them. I think for the Falcons, you can truly say they really are like a quarterback away from at least being a playoff team. Now, yes, they need an edge rusher, they need a corner, and they need more depth and more talent at wide receiver. But last season, the Falcons should have been a playoff team. They should have won that division, honestly. They probably should have won that division over the Buccaneers. They have a little bit more talent than the Buccaneers do. But the Buccaneers got really, really good quarterback play. The Falcons didn't. But the Falcons had, so many young, intriguing pieces. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. Great offensive line. I think Justin Fields would be an amazing fit. He would get to go back home. Everyone knows he's from Georgia. Remember, originally, he was playing at the University of Georgia. And I just think his fit on that team would be amazing. It'd be amazing, y'all. I really believe that. I think the Falcons, they need a young quarterback because that's what their team is. This is a young team that's ascending. So all this stuff about the Falcons maybe getting Russell Wilson and all this, nah, I wouldn't do that. Get you a young QB. And as we know, the Falcons are picking 8th right now in draft. So, and there's no way for them to be able to trade up unless something crazy was to happen. But I don't see the Falcons trading up and being able to get Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels. So your next best option would be to get Justin Fields, which is that what I would do. I would get Justin Fields. Like I said, I've been on records. Get Justin Fields. You're the Falcons. Go get him because it just makes so much sense. Then I think the other team, y'all, that would be interested in him is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers are a weird team because I honestly believe, y'all, they should give Kenny Pickett more time. I feel like they're giving up on him too quick. You talking about the Steelers' offensive line is still a mess. They've had a lot of drama from their wide receivers. And they had an offensive coordinator who should have been fired probably 2 or 3 years ago, but just got fired, back in October. So I still like Kenny Pickett. I like Kenny Pickett as a prospect coming out. I still like him. And y'all, some of y'all might disagree with that. I still like Kenny Pickett. So I would keep him. But it kind of feels like they're going to get rid of him, even though I would not do that. But if you do that, I think Justin Fields will probably be on their radar. The only thing, though, is, being honest with y'all, I don't even know. I just think with the way the Steelers are constructed, I don't even see Justin Fields having more success there. So if I was Justin Fields, I would not want to go to the Steelers. It's just me. I would not want to go to the Steelers. I'd rather go to the Falcons. Like, seriously, I would rather go to the Falcons. Because the Falcons have a good, young nucleus, man, that is ascending, y'all. Whereas the Steelers are a weird team, though, because they got some, some older guys on the team, like Patrick Peterson, Cam Hayward. They got young guys, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. But those two dudes, they're talented, but y'all, if George Pickens and Deontay Johnson ain't getting the football, they are complaining, they are whining, and I don't like that. You think about one of the best wide receivers of this generation, Julio Jones, man. Julio Jones has been the ultimate team player because Julio has never complained. Never complained. I ain't never seen Julio complain. And I've darn near watched his entire career. Even when he was at Alabama, I watched him. Julio never complained if he didn't get the football because he knew, hey, whatever it takes to win that game, I'm willing to do it. So that means I'm catching 2 passes for 15 yards, I'm going to do it. If that means I'm catching 10 passes for 150 yards, I'm willing to do it. If that means I got to go out here and block the entire game, I'm willing to do it because I want to win the game. So that's the mindset that Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, they need to have that from here on out, right? Stop worrying about stats, man. Do whatever it takes to help your team win football games, right? And so if I'm Justin Fields, I would not want to go there, but I think the Steelers would be interested in him. And again, lastly, before I move on, from the Bears' perspective, again, I understand you gotta do this, right? You got to. I mean, I think we all agree. Caleb Williams is a generational type prospect. And I know some people think he overrated. I don't. But he's a generational type prospect. And it's kind of hard to pass up, especially when back-to-back years you had the number one pick. And this year you were granted the number one pick because the Panthers decided they were going to give you their first-round pick this year. If it wasn't for that trade, y'all, the Bears would not have this pick. So you were granted the number one overall pick. Really hard to trade again, right? You traded last year. You traded your pick last year. I don't know if you do that twice in a row. So because of that reason, I understand that Justin Fields, man, he's like I said, y'all, I'm still going to sing Justin Fields' praise. I think he's totally underrated. I think there's some dudes, and I ain't going to call them out by name, but I'm going to be honest, there's some dudes that's playing particularly the quarterback position that we talk about way more that we should not be talking about. Let's just be honest. And y'all can probably guess what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not going to say any names, but there's some dudes that we talk about that are overrated more than we talk about a guy that's underrated like Justin Fields. And Justin Fields, okay, some of them quarterbacks that some of these people be talking about, Justin Fields is way better than them. Put him, okay, around that talent. I'm telling you, if Justin Fields goes to the Falcons, y'all, he will be a Pro Bowl quarterback for years to come. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you that. Justin Fields is a dude. He's a special talent. I'm telling y'all. You get him with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. Man, it's like, man, you kidding me? That's like a Madden Ultimate team right there. I'm telling you, if Justin Fields goes to the Falcons, he is going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback for years to come. Because he has never been surrounded by that much talent. Not since he was at Ohio State. So that's just how I feel. But I know some people don't like Justin Fields. I do. I've always, like I said, I've been liking this young man since he was in high school. Still gonna sing his praises, still high on him. I still think he has all the talent in the world to become a Pro Bowl quarterback. And y'all gonna see, just wait. If he goes to the Falcons, people will start talking about him more. See, I've been talking about Justin Fields, but people will start to come around him because they'll see, oh, yeah, he has a talent. Man, he's been at the talent. He just had played for a bad team and bad system in the Chicago Bears. But just wait. And so for Justin Fields, man, still rooting for you. And for the Bears, I understand you got to do this next, y'all. Speaking of the Falcons, well, today the Falcons made a salary dump move as they released tight end Jonnu Smith. The move saves them $6.5 million in cap space. Now, Jonnu Smith had a really good year for the Falcons. I think he had about 50 catches, 528 yards. We know the back in 2021, the Patriots signed him. Remember, he had got drafted by my Titans in 2017, worked his way up, became our starting tight end. Remember, he had that big catch in that playoff game in 2020 against the Ravens. There was a nice catch, nice throw by Tannehill. Great times, right? Then 2021 has about 448 yards for us, 8 TDs. Then he leaves, y'all. Excuse me, in 2020. Then 2021, he leaves, goes to the Patriots. They give him a 4-year, $50 million deal, and it just never worked out. It never worked out. And Patriots ended up trading him last year to the Falcons, and he has a really good year for the Falcons. But they released him, and this makes sense, right? I mean, the Falcons, you talking about last year, y'all. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson barely got the ball. That's a problem. This year, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London have to get the ball. So it really doesn't make sense. And they're switching, right? The Falcons are not going to be 12 personnel. They're going to be 11 personnel, meaning what? They need 3 wide receivers. Obviously, like I said a few minutes ago, the Falcons need to add depth and talent at the wide receiver position because they literally don't have anybody outside of Drake London. So that team desperately needs wide receiver help. But, yeah, it makes sense releasing Jonnu Smith because even though he had success last year, that's because he played for Arthur Smith. And obviously Arthur Smith, because he came from my Tennessee Titans, where we ran a whole lot of 12 personnel, you didn't need 3 wide receivers. Well, now with this offense that they have, that the Falcons are getting ready to have, where they're going to need 3 wide receivers, they're playing 11 personnel, it doesn't make sense to keep a really, really like solid backup tight end because he's just not going to have the impact he is on the teams that I put the teams I put on the screen in front of y'all. So the teams I think would be interested had the Los Angeles Chargers. You look at the Chargers, Gerald Everett, their starting tight end from last year, he is set to hit free agency. I don't think they'll bring him back just because I think Gerald Everett is probably going to get kind of a lucrative contract. I mean, I think he could get maybe $6 or $7 million maybe 5 million. But you look at the Chargers, I mean, y'all, they don't have any salary cap space right there. 25 million over the salary cap. They have to make decisions on Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack. And so I don't even think they'll have 5 or 6 million to give Gerald Everett. But I think a guy like Jonnu Smith, you could probably get him for 2 or 3 million. That's what I feel like, which would be better for them, right? And I know you're like, well, why would they just bring back Gerald Everett if it's only going to cost them $3 or $4 million more? But y'all, I'm telling you, with the way the Chargers are in terms of cap space, man, they need all the salary cap they can get. So trust me, it makes a huge difference. I expect them to be in the market for a tight end. They do need a tight end. They could draft one, but I think with the needs they have, they will probably address it in free agency, and they can go after a guy like Jonnu Smith. And then the next team I think they'll be interested in him is the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals, y'all, we know, I mean, the Bengals, like, dang, it feels like every year they get a new tight end. Irv Smith Jr., Hayden Hurst, CJ Uzama. I mean, every year this team is changing tight ends. But why not change again, right? Why not change again and get a guy like Jonnu Smith, who's a good run blocker, and he can catch the football, he can run routes. And we know how the Bengals are, man. Our new head coach came from the Bengals. He was their offensive coordinator for the last 5 years. We know the Bengals, obviously, they run a lot of 11 personnel, which is 3 receivers. So if Jonnu Smith went there, he would have to be the starting tight end. Right, he would have to be the starter, y'all, because the Bengals don't run 12 personnel really at all. They run 11 personnel. So as long as the Bengals would not want to address tight end in the draft, because I think there's a chance they could address tight end in the draft, but if they don't, then this makes sense. But if the Bengals are already kind of planning to address tight end in the draft, it doesn't make sense to get a guy like Jonnu Smith. I mean, because here's the thing, yeah, you need depth, but Jonnu Smith is good enough. I think he can kind of be a starter, especially on a team like the Bengals. That, like I said, y'all, they run a lot of 3 receiver sets, and a lot of times their tight end really doesn't get the football that much. But I think a guy like Jonnu Smith, if he could come in, maybe get about 450, 500 yards, and that would be good for the Bengals. And yeah, I mean, he would just get him another weapon on that offense. Obviously, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and, TBD on Tyler Boyd, because I don't know if they're going to be able to bring Tyler Boyd back. But, this is a team that we know the last 3 years, man, has had very explosive passing offenses. And I think they will continue. And Jonnu Smith, he only helped add to it. And he's a pretty solid run blocker. So those are the 2 teams I think will be interested in him the most. Next up, y'all. There's anybody in this stream that's ever played running back, hey, close your eyes. All right, because what we finna talk about right here, you're not going to want to hear, and you're not going to want to see. None of the big name running backs are expected to get franchise tag, including, as y'all see the pictures on your screen, we got Tony Pollard from Cowboys, Austin Eckler from the Los Angeles Chargers, Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans, Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants, and then Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, y'all, and this is what I said. I think I said this last week when I was talking about the Titans and Derrick Henry. I still think that running back is definitely an important position, right? It's an important position. Okay, because we saw what the Chiefs just did, right? The Chiefs this year, they didn't have the best wide receivers, but they were able to lean on that defense and their running game. Isaiah Pacheco, man, Isaiah Pacheco, that dude is just so tough and physical, y'all. I mean, one of the toughest dudes currently in the NFL, regardless of position. Isaiah Pacheco is one of the toughest guys in the league. You look at the 49ers. The 49ers got Christian McCaffrey. You look at, obviously, the Titans for years, we've had Derrick Henry. So running backs are still important. The problem is, though, is nowadays, y'all, you can get good production from your running backs, and they don't have to be first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or 7th round picks. They can be undrafted. Or they could be late round guys, 4th through 7th round, but they could be undrafted. Y'all, we just saw Keaton Mitchell for the Baltimore Ravens. We saw what he did before he got injured. You talking about a dude that was undrafted, right? Keaton Mitchell undrafted. We saw what he was doing for the Ravens. Because why? He's so explosive. So explosive. That's why I really hated. I really hated when he got injured because that kid is very dynamic and explosive. Kind of reminds you of Tajay Spears in a way, just a very explosive running back. But the problem, y'all, is that you can get good production from your running backs, and you don't have to pay them 10, 11, 12 million dollars a year to get that production. And so that's why you see all these big name running backs not getting franchise tag. All these big name running backs more than likely gonna switch teams. I mean, I think the only one, y'all being honest, I think the only one that has a chance of coming back, maybe Tony Pollard, maybe. But I could see the Cowboys wanting Derrick Henry, right? I really could, because I think the Cowboys could want like a big bruising back. Tony Pollard, he's not really a workhorse, y'all. That's not his game. Right? He's really too small of running back to be a workhorse. I can see the Cowboys want a running back like Derrick Henry. And then when I look at, I think the other dude on here that maybe, but I don't think he is. So that's why I only said one. But for some people, they would say, well, I think Josh Jacobs will come back. I don't think Josh Jacobs will come back to the Raiders. I really don't. I don't. I think the Raiders, with the needs that they have, right, considering that they need corner, like I said not too long ago, a few minutes ago, considering that they need corner, they need edge rusher, they need a defensive tackle, and they might even, could use a linebacker as well. Considering all the needs they have defensively, I don't know, y'all, if Tom Telesco is really going. And I know he said they want to bring him back, but I don't really know if Tom Telesco is going to be interested in bringing a running back when they have all the needs they have defensively. So, like I said, y'all, the only one I can see coming back is maybe Tony Pollard. But I think the Cowboys are going to go after Derrick Henry. So if they go after Derrick Henry and sign him, why would you bring Tony Pollard back for it? Right? I don't think Tony Pollard would want to be a backup. I mean, Tony Pollard's already been a backup before when he was with when Ezekiel Elliott was still on the team. I don't think he wants to go through that again. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think any of these dudes are gonna be back. Like I said, except maybe Tony Pollard, but I think they're going after Derrick Henry. But none of these dudes are more than likely gonna be back with their teams. We know Derrick Henry's not gonna be back. Saquon's not gonna be back. Austin Eckler's not gonna be back. I don't think Josh Jacobs is gonna be back. So you're talking about one of the five could be back, and that would be Tony Pollard. Not saying these dudes still aren't good players, because they are. Not saying they are not productive players, because they are. But the thing is, y'all, I'm gonna tell it to y'all like this, and then we finna move on to the Titans and watch the media availability. But I'm gonna break it down to y'all like this, okay? When it comes to important positions in the NFL, obviously, we know what the first one is quarterback. But outside of that, y'all, you want your best players to be what? A tackle, wide receivers, corners, an edge rusher, and a linebacker, middle linebacker. That's outside of, we already know about quarterback, but you left tackle, wide receiver, corner, edge rusher, and middle linebacker. Those are the game-changing positions in the NFL right now. You look at the 49ers, y'all. Look, they have their left tackle, Trent Williams. They got two great wide receivers, Debo, Brandon Ayuk. You look at, they got a great corner, Charvarius Ward. They got a great edge rusher, Nick Bosa. They have another good edge rusher, Chase Young. They have beastly linebackers, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner. Right? That's how you build your team like that, y'all. I'm just being honest. Your running back cannot be one of your highest paid players on the team. Your highest paid players and your best players need to be a left tackle, wide receiver, corner, edge rusher, and linebacker, middle linebacker. That's it. And it also helps if you have, for those teams that have great interior guys as well. But you could go without having like a great running back. You could go without having a great safety. You need to have a great tackle, great wide receivers plural, corners plural, great middle linebacker, great edge rusher. And when you look at the worst teams in the league, they're lacking that. The better teams in the league, they have that. Look at Texas, right? Laramie Thompson, left tackle. Wide receiver, they got Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Cornerback, Derek Stingley. Edge rusher, Jonathan Bernard, who they got to resign. Will Anderson Jr. Linebacker, okay, they still missing their middle linebacker. But look at them. Right, you look at the Ravens. Ronnie Stanley when he's healthy. Marlon Humphrey when he's healthy. Ronnie Stanley, there is their left tackle. Marlon Humphrey's their cornerback. Zay Flowers, even though obviously Zay Flowers coming off a good rookie year. He's not a superstar wide receiver yet, but he'll probably be there one day. Middle linebacker, look, Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith. Edge rusher, Clowney, Jadeveon Clowney. Good players at all those positions. Even if you can't get elite players at all those positions, you really want them to be good. You want good players, y'all. Good to great players at those positions. And that's what the best teams have. Literally, the best teams have that. That's just how it goes, y'all. But the best teams don't have superstar running backs. Let's be honest, outside of maybe the Browns and the 49ers, I wouldn't say any team has, and maybe the Packers, I wouldn't say any team has like a great running back. The Bills just have James Cook. I think James Cook is good. The Dolphins have Devon Achane. He's good. Right? The Bengals have Joe Mixon. He's good. Travis Etienne for the Jaguars. He's good. Right? The Jets have Breece Hall. He's really good. The Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Both really good, especially Jahmyr Gibbs. But David Montgomery is really good as well. But none of these teams have like elite running backs. But it's okay because you could go without having an elite running back. You cannot go without having a great quarterback, great left tackle, great wide receivers, plural. Like I said, great corners, plural, a great middle linebacker, and a great edge rusher. Those positions are too important, way too important. And so that's why, y'all, that is the reason why running backs are not getting valued the way they should. Right? That's why. Because you can find great production either in the 4th through 7th round, or even you can find great production with guys that went undrafted. Simple as that, y'all. And just to be honest, like I said, running back, you should not spend a lot of money in running back. If you are, that's a problem. Like even with my Titans, we love Derrick Henry, but the fact that he was one of our highest paid players shows you like how weak this roster is. Because your running back should not be one of your highest paid players, really. Unless he's a guy like Christian McCaffrey, which Christian McCaffrey can do it all. But even with Christian McCaffrey, look, the 49ers have other great players. Right? They have their highest paid players, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward at those important positions. Debo, they're gonna pay Brandon Ayuk probably this offseason. Whereas you look at the Titans, it was like, man, okay, it was like Derrick Henry, and then obviously it's like Tannehill and Henry, and then nothing else. We weren't paying anybody really. I mean, Harold Landry, we paying him a lot, but he's not a superstar, edge rusher. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, that stuff matters, y'all. Your running back cannot be one of your highest paid players. He just cannot be. And if he is, it's an issue. Unless, like I said, it's with the 49ers. And some of that's because the 49ers, some of their best players are still like on rookie contracts. Like Brock Purdy, like Brandon Ayuk, like Chase Young. Some of these dudes are still on like relatively small deals. But even with that, y'all, their best, Trent Williams, left tackle, one of the highest paid players. Debo, wide receiver, one of the highest paid players. Charvarius Ward, one of the highest paid players. Drake Greenlaw, Fred Warner, two of the highest paid players. At all those important positions. Nick Bosa, the highest paid player, right? So that's what I'm saying. At the important position. Left tackle, edge rusher, corner, wide receivers, corners, middle linebacker. That's where you need good to great players at. Not at running back. Not at running back. No disrespect, but not at running back. Because we literally just see the last two Super Bowls, y'all. The Chiefs won. Who was their running back? Isaiah Pacheco. Do what? He was not picked high, y'all. Isaiah Pacheco was not picked high at all. He wasn't. He's picked in the 7th round. And he's been a starting running back for the Chiefs the last 2 years. A 7th-round guy who they're paying like next to nothing. So that just goes to show you that the value of running backs is really dwindled. And it's not anything against the running backs. It's just because it's not an important position anymore. So that's it, y'all, for the NFL news and rumors that we have received the last few days. Now let's get into my Titans. And then I will get on out of here. Now, y'all, there are 11 takeaways that I had from Ran and Brian's media availability. And I want to get into this now because if we do end up watching the video, I really want to just watch the video with y'all. I don't want to talk over, too much or have to pause and then talk. So I ready. Let me give y'all my takeaways now. Then we can watch it and then I'll get out of here. But I had 11 takeaways from Ryan. Excuse me, from Ryan. I'm trying to combine their names. From Ran, it's going to be, I'll tell y'all, I'll see people do that, y'all. Ran and Brian, like, it's just, it's kind of easy to combine their names. But these are my 11 takeaways from Ran and Brian's media sessions, man. So the number one takeaway, y'all, is that Derrick Henry is gone. Okay, he's gone. Because if y'all saw the post that I put in the community tab today, where you had Ran Carthon saying that Tajay Spears is made of the right stuff. Okay, he didn't say stuff, but y'all know the word he said. He said he's made of the right stuff. Y'all, Tajay is the guy. And I tried to tell some Titans fans this last year. I tried to warn them when we drafted him. I said, y'all, he's the guy. And here's the thing. I heard, Ran, I heard him talking about, he's had so many people the last 12 months say, man, bring back Derrick Henry. But like Ran said, y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with sentimental value. We are trying to build a consistent championship team from here on out. Okay? At the end of the day, y'all, we let great players go that we should never let go. And they were like at, a more important position than running back. We let A.J. Brown go. And I know the whole thing, John Ross. I don't even feel like going into that. But I'm just saying, we let A.J. Brown go. We let Corey Davis go. We let Adoree Jackson go. You're talking about 2 wide receivers in the corner. 2 positions that are way more important than running back. And so here's the thing, man. We love Derrick Henry. We appreciate everything he's done. But y'all, at the end of the day, we have to think about we are trying to build a championship contender moving forward. And this is a new era of Titans football. Y'all, I'm so sick and tired of this organization only being known for its running backs. That's really all we're known for. Right? I mean, we're known for Steve Meniere, may he rest in peace. Frank Wycheck, may he rest in peace. Kevin Dyson, some other dude, Blaine Bishop, Brad Hopkins, yeah. But primarily, y'all, this franchise, this organization is known for its running backs. Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson, Eddie George. And even if you want, if you want to throw in Earl Campbell, I'll throw him in as well. But y'all, aren't y'all Titans fans? Aren't y'all ready for this team to be known for having great wide receivers? For having like really great offensive linemen, which we had some good ones through the years. But aren't you ready to have really great offensive linemen? Really great wide receivers, really great corners, like we see the best teams in the league have, because the best teams in the league have great wide receivers and great corners, great edge rushers. Aren't you ready for your team to be known for that and not just being known for his great running back play? And again, we love Derrick Henry. We appreciate everything he's done, man. One of the greatest Titans players ever. But y'all, I'm telling you, he's not coming back. And even if Derrick Henry was to come back, okay, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Because we are in a transition period for this team. No longer, y'all, we're going to be a running football team in terms of running the ball first. Well, obviously, every team runs the ball. But this is going to be a passing team. This is going to be a team, y'all, that has explosive players at wide receiver. This is going to be a team that is going to start throwing for hopefully at least 265, 270 yards a game. This is going to be a team that's going to be averaging hopefully 26, 27 points a game. This is going to be a team that hopefully is throwing the ball about 40 times a game. So even if Derrick Henry comes back, does it even make sense? Because he's not going to get the ball as much because we're going to be throwing it more, which is finally, we should have been doing this. Okay, that's a big reason why Miss Amy decided to fire Mike Vrabel, because we were playing old school football and we needed to come up to how they play football in 2024, y'all. We have to be a more modern team, okay? Because we are so far behind. And you can tell today by Rand and Brian's comments, y'all, that they are admitting to us like, yeah, we know this team is really behind. We know this roster is really weak. We know we have a lot of catching up to do. The great thing is we have the resources to catch up pretty quickly. But we know, man, we got a lot of work ahead of us. And y'all, we need to play, and we will start playing. We need to play modern football, period. All the teams in the league, all the best teams in the league are what? They are throwing teams. They are passing teams. You can run the ball, but my goodness, if that's your identity is running the football, and you don't have dynamic playmakers at wide receiver, you're not going to win very many ball games. That's why the last 2 years we haven't. And even when we were winning, we knew, hey, this team is not going to go all the way because we still play football like we're in the 80s and 90s. Them days is over with, y'all. You got to be able to throw that football down the field. You got to be explosive and score points. So first takeaway, Henry's gone. The second takeaway, Andre Dillard is gone. You know, last year, y'all, I really criticized Andre Dillard, but we know last year, yeah, CJ2K, we know last year, Andre Dillard was brought in here to be what? Starting left tackle for this team. And that plane, it crashed, y'all. It crashed immediately because we saw immediately. Yeah, Andre Dillard stinks. He stinks, and that's the reason why he never, ever got to play in Philadelphia, because he just stinks. He's not good. You're talking about a dude that got benched, y'all. He got benched in favor of a sixth-round rookie, Jalen Duncan. And now Jalen Duncan was great out there, but at least he was a rookie. And he was a sixth-round pick. You're talking about Andre Dillard, a former first-round pick, man, who we gave a 3-year, $29 million deal to, was god-awful. So he's gone. Not Tajay. Andre Dillard is gone. He stinks. And I know we got a new offensive, a new offensive line coach, Bill Callahan, who is Brian Callahan's father. And Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches probably in NFL history. But even he cannot develop Andre Dillard. I mean, Andre Dillard just stinks, y'all. He is too slow. He cannot deal with speed rushers. And he's supposed to be a big, powerful guy. He can't even deal with power edge rushers. So he should be gone from this team, and he will be gone. Man, bad sign for us. But I think Mike had a lot to do with that. I think Mike Vrabel really, I'm going to be honest, y'all, with the free agents we brought in last year, I think Mike had a lot to do with it more than Rand did. Just being real with you. My third takeaway, y'all, is that Tajay is the guy running back. Like I said, Rand Carthon said Tajay's made the right stuff, and I totally agree. Y'all, Tajay, oh, man. Let me tell y'all something. This kid is so explosive. He is so explosive. Man, he is lightning in the bottle, and he is hard to contain, boy. Hard to contain. I'm so excited to see what he is going to do for us moving forward, because we have not had an explosive, dynamic running back like this. I've said this time and time again on this channel since Chris Johnson, and now we do have one again, y'all, Tajay Spears. And like I said, as much as we love Derrick Henry, even if we bring Derrick Henry back, Tajay is the guy at running back. And hearing the comments that Rand made today shows you, yep, he's telling you, yep, Tajay's going to be a starter at running back, as he should. Okay, well, that's why we drafted him. Like I told people last year, that's why we drafted him. That's why we drafted Will Levis, because we knew that we would be sitting right here today saying that is our future quarterback and there's our future running back. That's why Randy, I kept telling people that. That's why Rand did that. He was like, why would Rand take a quarterback? Why would he take a running back? Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill still under contract. I'm like, y'all, he's not re-signing those guys next year. He's already preparing for when he needs to have future replacements. So instead of waiting, because some people would have waited, like, oh, okay, well, now that Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry's contracts are up, now this year I'm gonna try to get my future quarterback and running back. Rams like, I'm not waiting. Hey, time waits for no man. And Rand Carthon knows that best, man. You ain't got time to wait. Right? This league moves very fast. So you don't have time to wait. So instead of waiting, he wouldn't have got his future quarterback and running back last year in the draft. I kept telling people this. That's why he did that. Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill will not be on this team. But for some reason, a lot of people kept thinking, they're coming back. I'm like, y'all, this is it. Okay, this is it. They're not going to be on this team. Tajay is the guy in running back. And Rand made that crystal clear during his media availability today. As you can tell, man, the Titans are really high on Tajay Spears as they should be, man. This kid, y'all, I really want to get his jersey. I want to get his jersey. I think I want to get Will Levis' jersey, and then whoever we might get in free agency or the draft. But yeah, Tajay is my boy, man. Cannot wait to see what this kid's gonna do for my football team for years and years and years to come. He's made it right, sugar honey iced tea. Yeah, he is. Tajay is a freak, man. He's a beast. And like I said, I cannot wait to see what this dude is gonna do for us for years and years and years to come. Because yeah, him and Will Levis, boy, that's gonna be a heck of a quarterback, running back duo right there. And I'm so happy they're playing in Nashville, Tennessee. They're not somewhere else. My fourth takeaway, y'all, is that we need more speed across the roster. And a lot of us already knew that. But today, you had Rand, you had Brian Callahan. They just kept talking about that, right? We need more speed. You know, Brand. Oh, my God, Brand. excuse me, Rand. Oh, my gosh. Their names, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm going to sometimes do that. I'm going to try to combine their names. They're kind of similar. Rand, Brian, like, I don't know, just kind of like, it's just kind of similar to each other. It's funny. But today, all they kept talking about, man, we need to get faster, right? And Rand even said we need to get faster on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we know we need to get faster at wide receiver, but we need to get faster on defense. Well, we need to get faster at corner. Right? I heard Rand say when we played against the Miami Dolphins, he said, man, you could just see the speed that the Dolphins possess and the lack of speed that we possess. So we need to get faster across the entire roster. Wide receiver, corner, linebacker. We need fast dudes, y'all. Fast, athletic dudes. Because this team for years has been way too slow. We've been a slow, unathletic team. Time to get fast. And like I said, we need to get fast across the board. You know, and Brian Callahan, he even said it himself. You know, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for speed and explosiveness to this wide receiver core. They're looking for speed on defense. So you're talking about literally your head coach and your quarterback, your head coach and your GM admitting that, yeah, we need to get faster on this team. We definitely do. Fifth takeaway, y'all, is that we seem on track to take a wide receiver at pick 7. Y'all, I'm telling you, and I told y'all this last week when I did my Titans mock draft 3.0, I said that we are going wide receiver. And hearing Ryan, oh my God, hearing Ryan and Brian's comments today, y'all excuse me, man, hearing their comments today confirms this. Now, the reason I put we seem on track and then say we are going to take it, because, you know, nothing's definitive, y'all. We're just going to be in April. Or excuse me, we're just going to be in March. So, I cannot sit up here and say anything's definitive. But I'll tell you this. We definitely seem on track to take a wide receiver. Y'all, today, all I heard was Rand and Brian saying We need to get faster at wide receiver. We need to get more explosive at wide receiver. We need playmakers, right? It's all we heard. And I love hearing that. Love hearing, because that's all they really said. And I love it. Because they're absolutely right. We need more playmakers on this team, y'all. We need dynamic receivers. Brian Callahan said that he would take a guy who would score touchdowns every day of the week. Right? He'd take that over offensive lineman. And I totally agree with him. I totally agree with him. Because I literally saw the Bengals, y'all. They did that in 2021. They could have selected Panay Sewell, who has become one of the best tackles in the league. But they didn't. They decided they wanted to fill out that wide receiver core by adding Jamar Chase. And look what happened. Year one, they went to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying they went to the Super Bowl because they drafted Jamar Chase, because they made some really good moves in free agency that year. They brought in Mike Hilton. They brought in Larry Ogunjobi. They brought in Chidobe Awuzie, right? They brought in Trey Henderson. So they brought in some really good free agents to supplement that roster. But, I mean, y'all, they had a three-headed monster. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd at wide receiver. And they went to the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl. Now, offensive line is obviously it's important. But I'm with Brian Callahan, y'all. I'm with him. And I'm with Ran as well. You need playmakers, right? And we need to get playmakers for our young quarterback, Will Levis. Because we already saw what Will Levis could do. And that's with him only having one wide receiver that can do anything. DeAndre Hopkins, who's still very, 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 very good in this league. So, I hear Sam Cooke singing a change is going to come. Yes, change is happening in Tennessee. And just like I said, like I said before, it's exciting time. But yes, we seen him on track, y'all, to take a wide receiver at pick 7 overall. Just from hearing their comments, they seem to know that this team needs playmakers. And going into this kind of ties into my fifth takeaway, but going to my sixth takeaway is that need more playmakers for Will Levis. And we know we do, right? Like I just said, outside of DeAndre Hopkins, y'all, we have no wide receiver on this team that we even trust. You know, I think Traylon Burks will probably, as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll do more with Brian Callahan, just because, you know, Brian Callahan's an offensive-minded head coach, and he comes from Cincinnati where they were throwing the football all over the field. But we still don't know we haven't Traylon Burks yet. We still cannot trust him, right? Then you got Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Chris Moore, like coaching that. I mean, come on, y'all. No, we need some real weapons up in here, and we need more playmakers for our quarterback. Will Levis has one of the strongest arms in the entire league. Take advantage of that, man, and surround him with playmakers, surround him with dudes that's explosive and can get down the freaking football field. That's what we need. We have literally been craving this for years. You know what I mean? Wide receivers we have on this team that just been god off for us. So many. It is about time, y'all. This team had great wide receivers on the team, had explosive wide receivers on the team, had dudes that can make plays with the ball in their hand. So we need more playmakers for Will Levis. 7th takeaway, open to trading down. Rand Carthon said he likes pick 7, but he would listen to any offers. And yeah, he's open to it. Now, I don't think he's going to trade down. I think we're going to stay at pick 7. But he is open to trade it down if the right trade were to become available. Like I said, I don't think he's going to trade out of pick 7. I think we're going to stay. But he is open to trading down if the right trade was to become available. My 8th takeaway, y'all, and I kind of touched on this, touched on it early, but wide receiver is more important than the O-line. And what I mean by this is that obviously we know we need this offensive line stinks. But I think in terms of whether you would take a wide receiver or offensive lineman, when that becomes a discussion on draft day, and they're sitting in that war room, they're like, do we take a wide receiver or do we take a tackle? I think wide receiver to them is more important than tackle. One, because this offensive line class is really deep, and two, because we now have the best offensive line coach in the game, Bill Callahan, and I think they think that Mr. Bill Callahan could probably develop offensive linemen quicker. Now they still need to have some talent, right? It can't be like a dude like Dennis Daly who just was totally got off of like Andre Dillard, but I do think that Ran Carthon and Brian Callahan believe that because they had Bill Callahan as the offensive line coach, that they could take a wide receiver at pick 7 and not have to worry about O-line as much because, Bill Callahan is just such a great offensive line coach. And I think they think he can develop guys and so they could lean receiver. And that's why I think wide receiver is more important to them than O-line. My nice takeaway, y'all, is have patience, Titus fans. Have patience, okay? Rome was not built in one day. This team has a lot of needs. Now, obviously, we have a lot of salary cap space, but like Rand Carthon said today, you got to be patient and got to spend that money wisely. You don't just go out here, hey, let's just sign this dude and this dude and this dude and just start dishing out these big contracts, right? Spend wisely, be active in free agency, but spend wisely. And for us as fans, we just have to have patience and trust this process. We notice the team, like I said, has a lot of holes on it, a lot of needs on this roster. All of them will not be able to be filled in one offseason. But if we have a successful offseason, many of them could be filled. If we have a successful draft, many of them could be filled as well. But, like I said, y'all, have patience. Have patience. This is a new era that we are entering in. You guys just be willing to give some time. Have to. Are you talking about Brian Callahan? He's never been a head coach before. Right? Ran Carthon is entering his second year as being GM. Now he's executive vice president. So get them some time because they're still learning, y'all. They're they're the new kids on the block. So get them some time. My 10th takeaway is that Will Levis will have more responsibilities. I heard Rand Carthon say that they want Will Levis to be able just to go up to the line of scrimmage, make the necessary changes he has to make, without really having to look over to Brian Callahan. And this is something I think he would never do under Mike Vrabel. Because Mike is so stubborn, y'all. He's so stubborn. And he really wants things done his way. And so, if y'all notice, man, when Ryan Tannehill was our starting quarterback for these last 5 years, you never really saw Tannehill making too many changes at the line of scrimmage. I think because of the way Mike Vrabel is, and Mike has a big ego. I think Mike was like, nah, Tannehill, this is how I told you to run it. This is how we're going to run it. But see, Brian is totally different, y'all. Totally different, man. First of all, he's more like chill, relaxed, calm in his press conferences than Mike would. Mike, everything felt so intense with him, man. But Brian is just very relaxed. I love that. Gonna be a different approach, and because of that, Will Levis is gonna have more responsibility, which is great because he can handle it. Okay, Will is very strong mentally and physically, so he can handle it. And again, we're trying to groom him into being one of the best QBs in the league because he has that potential. And the best quarterbacks in the league, they have a lot on their plate. And this is great for Will because, again, I believe he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league. My last takeaway, y'all, is that we will add a QB to compete with Malik Willis for backup QB job. Listening to what Rand in particular said about Malik. I mean, they like Malik. I know Brian was saying he likes Malik too. He cannot wait till they can really, start coming back to the facility so he can meet Malik. But yeah, it seems very likely that Malik Willis will not be on this roster, for this upcoming season. Rand did say that the Titans will add a veteran quarterback to compete with him. And I just think, I think Malik is not going to be the backup quarterback. Considering that Will Levis is so young, he's only entering his second year. You probably want a veteran quarterback. Personally, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I really wish we can get Gardner Minshew, but I don't think it's gonna be easy to get Gardner. I really like Gardner Minshew. He would be a great backup quarterback and great mentor for Will Levis, but I don't think we'll be able to get him because he don't have a lot of competition. I think the Colts are probably going to bring him back, right? Because he could be a great mentor for Anthony Richardson, and then if Anthony Richardson still needs some more time to get healthy before the season starts, then you have Gardner Mitchell. He could go in there and start some games because he's a solid enough quarterback, and you can win some games with him. So, y'all, those are my takeaways from Ryan. Oh my goodness, from Ran and Brian's media sessions. How are y'all feeling, man? Titans fans, how we feeling? Ooh, drinking some water, y'all, because I've been going on for about an hour, 20 minutes. So hold up 1 second. But yeah, Titans fans, exciting time for us. Yeah, man, real exciting time for us. Y'all, before we watch some of Rand and Brian's media availability, man, I want to say today, y'all, we have officially hit 40 subscribers on the channel. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 40 subs on the channel, man. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported me through this journey, that has shown me so much love, that has liked videos, that has commented, that shared it to their friends and family. I really appreciate this, man. We have really grown a lot, y'all. We've already grown a lot this year. And could not, obviously, first and foremost, cannot do without God. And I cannot do without y'all. So just really, really appreciate. Like I always say this, I say this all the time, man. I'm really appreciative for y'all, and I truly love all of y'all. Even though some of y'all I do not know, good majority of y'all I really don't know at all. But still appreciative for y'all, man. Love you, and yeah, just wow. I cannot believe we here, man. 40 subscribers, y'all. 10 away from 50. And we have already hit 15 subscribers this year. And y'all, we're only 2 months in this year. Ain't God good, y'all? Ain't God good? I know they ain't grammatically correct, but ain't God good, man? Yeah, he is. And all the time, God is good. So just thankful that we are here at this moment. Like I said, y'all, 10 subscribers away from 50. And I'm telling y'all right now, we definitely gonna do something special, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna want to miss that. Oh man, when I hit 50 subscribers on here, we gonna do something special. And it's gonna be a very exciting event, whatever I decide to do. But yeah, just want to share that news with y'all, man. Thank you for that. Also, I said a couple of days ago, man, we closed in on 100 videos on this channel, y'all. So hey, thank you for that as well. Yes, almost 100 videos on this channel, and again, man, cannot do this without God and cannot do this without y'all. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, y'all, I posted in the community tab the schedule for this week. Now, this, I ain't gonna lie, this could change depending on if I want to talk about, something different maybe. But as of right now, so tonight we have Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan's media sessions at the Combine / other NFL news and rumors. Tomorrow, y'all, have my NFL mock draft 2.0 pre-combine. Thursday, had the Tennessee Titans groundbreaking ceremony for the new Nissan Stadium / women's college basketball picks. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. I will be going live twice on Thursday. Once will be to watch the Titans groundbreaking ceremony. I think it'll be really cool, man. We're me doing that, and I hope y'all will tune in for that. And then secondly, like later that night, I will give my picks for the women's college games because there's a lot of good games coming on. I give my picks for those games. Friday, reacted to the women's college basketball games from Thursday and reacted to day 1 of the NFL Combine. Saturday, reacted to day 2 of the NFL Combine / some men's college basketball talk. And then Sunday, reacted to day 3 of the NFL Combine. I didn't put this on here, but I probably will also talk about some of the women's college basketball games coming on Sunday. So that's the schedule for this week. Like I said, it could be subject to change, but that is the schedule for this week. Now, does anybody have anything else they want to add before we get ready to watch some of Ryan? Oh my goodness, y'all, Ryan. Before we get ready to watch some of Brian and Rand's media availabilities. If not, we'll get ready to watch it. Like I said, y'all, I want to give y'all my takeaways now, so we just watch this. I'm not probably going to say too much. I'm not probably going to pause. I'm still going to be here, but I'm probably just going to remain quiet throughout the entire thing, if y'all okay with that. I might step in, occasionally and say this or that, but probably for the most part, I will just sit here. We'll just watch it together, and I will give y'all opportunity to watch it for those that haven't watched it. I've watched it, but hey, I could watch it again. So y'all, without further ado, let's watch Titans general manager Ran Carthon and Titans head coach Brian Callahan give their media availability at the NFL Scouting Combine.
Outside of GM, but the role's kind of pretty similar, just in terms of the way we're building and the way we work. Still view Callie very much as my partner, and it's been cool through this transition to get to know him, get to know the coaches and what they're looking for, and how that's going to help us as scouts. Well, I think we're really deep at receiver in this draft and O-line as a whole, which are two areas that we're going to be focusing on. But it's a really deep class, a lot of talented young men, and we're looking forward to meeting with them throughout this process.
With how deep they are, the draft is at both of those positions, but how do you weigh a top O-lineman against one of the top receivers and what you can do coming back in the season?
Again, I think if you look at it strategically, it's about the value, right? So if you're sitting there and there's a receiver there, knowing that there's a deep O-line class, it's like, all right, where can we supplement this position, later. So it's about playing those two parts off of each other, whether that's in free agency as well, and in the draft. So it's about trying to mix and match those two pieces. I like 7, but I'm open. We have to listen to any offers that may come. Our long-term goal is to build this football team into a consistent winner, and the way you do that is building through the draft. And off of that, you need draft picks to do that. So would definitely be willing to listen, but it has to make sense for us. Not really. I would just say, my number one thing is adding playmakers to our team, whether that's offensively, defensively. Just looking to bring people in that love football, that want to be in our place. I mean, if you look at the way our coaching staff was built, we got some of the best coaches available. I think a lot of guys had other offers and could have been in other places, but chose to be with us. And that's the talent part about who they are. But if you look at who they are as people and their passion for the game, I think it resonates and it's going to permeate throughout our locker room.
With $90 million in cap space, how much do you have to play that money wisely, but also know that you kind of have a trump card with so much money?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot of cap space. I know that's what everyone is talking about.
Let me pause real quick. I just yeah, it's very deep at wide receiver. Hope my Bears get one. Yeah, y'all do need another receiver to go with DJ Moore, man. Y'all really do. But yeah, this class is very deep at wide receiver. I think it's also, like Ren said, very deep at offensive line. Offensive lineman is very deep at corner. So I'm glad that my Titans need all 3 of those positions, because we need offensive lineman, wide receiver, and cornerback help immediately on this football team.
Talking about and how much we have, but we have to spend wisely. You don't want to just load up and just go, and spend money. Again, we're trying to build a long-term, consistent thing, and you can't do that spending all 90 million out front. We got to be patient. We got to position ourselves that there are going to be guys that come free in June and July, like when we got D-Hop, that we have to have the space for and be able to afford it. And plus, we have to have money for operating costs moving forward throughout the fall, which, I think for most of the season we were in the top 5 and having space available. So we plan to be active, but we're going to be patient and let everything come to us. Yeah, we have to improve on the team speed. I think that's that's visible, and we're going to do that. And the name of the game in this league is speed. I think you guys saw that when we played Miami this year, the type of threat that they had, with their fast guys, that, just being able to outflank people with motions and the stress that causes a defense. So we have to be able to match that defensively, but we want to be able to apply that same pressure offensively with speed. Well, Derek and I had a good conversation on the way out, and he knows where we are, and we know where he is. I think you guys that have been around, a year know that we don't really talk about, players' contract status in public. But we'll be well positioned to do whatever we need to do. However, when those conversations need to be had, we'll have them with Derek and his team. Well, first of all, like Tajay is a dude that I just described. He's very passionate about football. He loves the game. He's a hard worker, and I think you guys that have gotten to know him know that's how he's wired, and you love that about him. Tajay's one of those guys that's always in the building. I know there were a lot of concerns about his knee coming out, and that was the big question this time of year and after we drafted him. But we're talking about a guy that never missed a practice, never missed a game, and he's, for lack of a better way to put it, he's made of the right. And those are the type of guys that we want to have in our program.
How much do you have to weigh the sentimental with Derek and the fan aspect of it all versus the value side?
It weighs, because I hear that question around town a lot. People will come and the first thing they'll say is, hey, we're not going to lose Derek, are we? I think I've probably, in my 12 months on this job, have gotten more Derrick Henry questions, than anything. So I understand that piece of it too. But, I have a responsibility, to build this team long term. And like I said, we'll cross that bridge with Derrick and his team when we get there. I think it's like with most young quarterbacks, it's getting playing time, being out there. He spent the earlier part of the season as the inactive third. And then when he got his opportunity to play, he took off and ran with it. So for him, it's continuing to get time on task, and especially now coming into a new offense, getting him in that, getting him knowledgeable of it. And for Will, it's about creating that consistency. When he was at Kentucky, he had multiple offensive coordinators. I think he may have had the same offense maybe twice, in his career. So want to be able to create that consistency for him, get him used to making calls, and get him to where, he's making all the calls and checks up front.
You mentioned you are through this whole process. How important is that as you go forward, and how's it going for you working together so far?
I think it's paramount from the simple fact that I'm not designing any schemes or calling any plays. The cool thing that we did is prior to coming here, we had a big profile tape meeting, what we call profile tapes, where each of our position coaches put together what they're looking for, at their respective positions, and it was very, 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 very detailed. And we were in a unique position that all of our scouts, with the exception of 2, live in Nashville. So we had everybody come in the building, and we got in our team meeting room, which is the big enough space to hold everybody. And we locked in for, I think we went with the offense first, and that was a day of 4 hours of where we were in the room going through each one, and then we went with the defense second, and then we'll meet with the special teams coaches when we get back. But again, that's all about us getting on the same page, being able to speak the same language, but then also us as scouts getting to know what the coaches need to make their scheme successful. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a difference. I think there's going to be some carryover on defense, just in terms of structure. but the style will change a little bit. And then I think offensively it'll change, which is where you got to give our scouts grace. They've gone from post draft last year throughout the entire fall of scouting for one scheme, and then now we're asking them to flip, on the drop of a dime and adjust. And so our guys have done a really good job, and that's why we felt it was important for them to be in those meetings to see that, and we're giving them the leeway to kind of go back and adjust their grades a little to talk about guys that under the previous regime may not have fit, but they now fit us. I won't get too deep into it, just because we're a new staff and nobody's seen us play yet. But there are subtle differences. Like I said, the structure of it being an odd front team, a 3-4 team, if you will, is going to be kind of similar. Our defense has been good, these last couple years, and it's kind of what the organization has hung its hat on. So we're going to look to keep that going. But there'll be some subtle changes that'll be noticeable when we get out on the field.
What characteristics of offensive linemen can change going from outside zone to an offense that had a lot of inside zone and shotgun and those characteristics and prospects?
Well, we got a guy named Bill Callahan, a.k.a. Big Coach, who's one of the best in the business. And I really wish you guys could have seen his profile tape, meeting. It was a clinic. It was a clinic, and everyone left out of there minds blown and coming to the realization that we still got a lot to learn, to come in and what it's going to take to play for him. But I think for a guy like that who's been such a strong developer, of talent at the O-line position, it gives us a little leeway, to bring some guys in and him having a plan on how to develop those guys and get them out on the field.
When you mention a guy like that, how much do you weigh his ability to develop talent when you're measuring a polished, ready to plug and play prospect versus a guy on upside?
No, I mean, it's weighing what's the best option for us now and where we're taking that, right? So you would want, if you're picking in the top 10, you want about as close to a surefire thing that you can find, which we won't know that for another 3 years anyway. But then there are spaces later in the draft where you could take a developmental guy because you have someone that could develop him.
You mentioned a couple times having all your scouts close. Is there a downside to that where they're not kind of out in the middle of their territory on a more regular basis?
No, I mean that's a good question. I would say no, just because of what social media is now, and the way you can have access to information on your phone. But most of those guys, they live in Nashville, but they spend a great amount of time in their areas. But I don't think it hurts us at all.
Back to the offensive line, are there guys that are holdovers here, maybe that get a new lease on life under Bill, that maybe didn't quite fit or didn't quite perform the way they needed to?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of guys under contract that were here last year that'll get the first opportunity to work with Coach Callahan. But just like anything else, we're going to look to continue to add to that room that allow us to get the best five on the field.
You expecting Andre to get that opportunity?
Well, again, I've never been in the draft room with Coach, with Big Coach, and how he sees it. But definitely take his advice. But ultimately, when we build it, we're going to build it for the best way of the entire organization, and not just so much focus on him and what he's looking for.
You expecting 2 minutes left?
You expecting Andre Dillard to be part of the guys that get an opportunity under Callahan?
Well, again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Just again, staying consistent about keeping family business in house. I think I think it's documented. Dre didn't play as well as he probably would have wanted or the way we wanted, but nonetheless, he's still a talented guy that has some physical traits that you can't find.
Ran, how you like where you are bringing at the receiver position and chance to attack that maybe both in free agency and the draft?
Well, I mean, if you look at where Cali comes from, right, you have 3 to 4 guys that are in there a lot. And that are producers, and that's the receiver room is where we're going to continue to look to add some playmakers. Like I said before, we're looking to add playmakers, on both sides of the ball. We need to have people that can put the ball in the paint, and score points for us, and we need people that can take the ball away and create more opportunities for us to score.
All right, y'all. I want to just chime in real quick. Love what Ran Carthon just said. He said, what, y'all? We need dudes that can put the ball in the paint, and we need dudes on the other side of the ball that can give us the ball back. So what? We can continue to score more and more points. And as y'all know, man, I mean, the Titans this past year, we had one of the worst offenses in the entire league. And we also had one of the worst pass defenses in the league. I mean, we only had 6 interceptions, y'all. 6. So that's not good. So Ran is 1,000% correct. This team needs more playmakers across the board. We need playmakers in that wide receiver room, and we need playmakers in that cornerback room. So, yeah, I cannot agree more with him. We need more playmakers on this team, period. And there's not a single Titans fan that would disagree with that statement because it's true. This team is in desperate need of more playmakers, on both sides of the ball.
You talked about when you first hired, before you hired Callie, after the Vrabel firing, was that the vision. You didn't say what it was then. Can you talk about it now that you made the hire?
Yeah, so our number one thing, again, is going to come back to getting the right people in the building. And like I'll forever say, you look at how we built this staff, it's going to be how we're going to build our football team with the right people. But there's an acronym I like to use, FIT, F-I-T. And where applicable, we want to be fast, instinctive, and tough. You know, if you look at a position like O-line, D-line, you don't necessarily have to be fast. So that F, transitions to being.
All right, y'all. So, thank you. It's going to be it for tonight. I've been live almost an hour, 40 minutes. Tomorrow, I think before I do my NFL Mock Draft 2.0, we'll listen to the rest of Ran and Brian Callahan's press conference. I want to say again, thank you to everyone that tuned in to the live stream, man. It's kind of long tonight. Been going live for almost an hour and 40 minutes, but thank you to everyone that tuned in. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. Before I get out of here, I want to say, remember, y'all, add me on Twitch, Zaymullah Sports, all lowercase. Let me repeat it. Add me on Twitch, Zaymullah Sports, all lowercase. Remember, laughter is good medicine. So make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.